There we go. Now you should be able to hear me. Sorry about that, guys. Uh, how are you guys doing? Sorvon and Terry? I've been doing this whole thing. I just moved my desktop up here, so I didn't realize that all my settings weren't set up on here as well. So I had to set my microphone up. So let's go back over what I'm doing real quick. Um, so on the legs come in two halves. And there's a panel line that is created in the middle, so we're going to just go ahead and leave that as it is. That way it's easy to take the armor on and off. I've done a little bit of scribing here, not a ton. And on the front, I've kind of mocked this up, but I don't really love it, so I'm not going to run with that. I don't like it. We're going to redo that. And as for the shoulders, I've gone ahead and I've removed the seam line that goes down the middle, which was a lot more of a deal than I thought it was going to be. And I've trimmed off these. We're only going to do one shoulder like this. I like the idea of keeping some of it asymmetrical. And actually, I'm considering maybe just banging this up a little bit more and filling it, and then just using that as like a weathering piece for this. But I do kind of like the way the plug looks, so we'll see what happens. I'm going to let this sit for a minute before I kind of commit to anything one way or the other. So, how you guys doing tonight? You guys working on anything, or? Oh, that noise. I also kind of want to do a little bit of scribing on this, but I don't know what to do. I really want to paint my RG new. It's such a nice kit. It looks good built, and like the part separation on it is really well done. I think once I get some of these projects, off the desk, I think that's going to be like one of my paint projects. Because I would really like to do some justice to it. Yeah, when I was putting mine together, like the leg frame especially, like there's a lot of really nice detail in there, and like you can very easily go overboard uh, painting that up. Oh, I forgot I did this. So another thing I did is I scribed some crude detail on like the shoulder where this gets covered up. So this isn't a major deal to me. I just wanted it there just in case. Probably do a similar design, well, the same design on the other arm. Um, so what I did is I put this in the middle, and traced this. That is not straight, so we're going to do it again. Please throw those pictures up. I would love to see them. Where are my cutters? I put everything away. I'm not used to doing that. I've been waiting on unemployment all day. Um, they decided midway through, well, I don't want to say midway through, but in the middle of a pandemic, uh, they would update their website, and now there's a queue. And I've been in line since 9 or 10 this morning, and I'm still in line with 40,000 people ahead of me. Pretty sure it's 0.3. Yeah, I was fortunate. It's kind of a bit of a blessing that, like, with my job, I get a lot of time off in the winter, so I was already pre-registered for unemployment and stuff like that. It's just a matter of, like, letting them know that I'm back on unemployment, and then, like, confirming it. So then I have to go in every week and, like, reapply, or, like, let them know that I'm still on. And it just, one of my friends that is a computer tech, was like, they probably didn't want to upgrade their systems, but something probably happened with the volume of people that kind of forced them to. So I can kind of sympathize with that, but it really sucks. It's been a huge pain in the butt. But hopefully it gets straight. What in the world? Oh, this piece came off. Those match. I can't wait to check them out. Okay, so for the leg, so this is my favorite thing to talk about when it comes to figuring out points to work from. So if you're ever like not sure where to start scribing or something like that, one thing I like to do is I look for pieces on the plastic that kind of jump out to me. So for me, there was a nub mark here, and you can see a very slight bit of discoloration. So I did that, and I did a line that way. And then I started my second line from this point. That doesn't seem right. Oh, this line is skewed down. But I look for reference points on the piece to kind of help guide my details. Rather than just throwing lines all over the place. This is really weird. This one is fighting me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do the other approach and just go for it. Because putting the guide tape down will help me keep my line straight, which I can't really do with a pencil. And we're only coming in just a little bit on this bottom line, so hello. Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast. What is that? And here we go. It turned out all right after all. So now these will line up pretty well. It's hard to see on that blue, but it lines up. Thanks, JS Idaho. Thanks for stopping by. You have a great night as well. Aubrey. Oh, Bo Peep, come here. Is mommy gone?
Nope.
No?
MG Gouf.
so those match up for now. So I think I need to do something kind of like up diagonal into this area, make it look like there's a top and bottom panel on these that come off, and then the big like center panels. But we'll come back to that in a little bit. I'm gonna let that chill. We're gonna get back on these shoulders. So we've got one of these. I don't know. I'm gonna weather this, but I don't know if I was gonna do any like battle damage. So I don't know if I want to leave this off or not. And I'm kind of leaning towards no. Which means we need to cut another one of these off. Let's just file that down a little bit just to make sure it's nice and flat. Cool. Might help if I get some on the rest of the piece. There we go. And let's take that right there. Oh, oh, oh. All right. I'm happy with that. I think those look good. On each side, I just got to fix this little where I cracked that on the top there. Just put a little bit of super glue in that, sand that down, and it'll be like it never happened. So next I want to put in some details that are going to be on both shoulders. For this, we're going to use similar pieces. I think we're going to stick with these little 3D printed parts. They work really well. Let's use... Oh, shoot. Let's use some of these. Wait, I got the wrong ones. So we're going to use these little minus mold details. They're a little difficult to see, but there you go. There's two different kinds. There's one that's like a bolt that goes all the way through, and then there's one that has like a bolt that goes part the way through. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my knife, and I'm just going to stick that in the center of each one of these little like dimple pieces. It doesn't have to be exact. As long as it's close, that's all that really matters. There we go. Then I'm going to take my pin vise, and we're going to use that little hole that we drilled as a pilot hole, and we're just going to drill through.
Hey, Dad.
What?
Would I watch the color thing on my TV?
Yeah, give me a minute. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these holes that I've drilled out, I'm going to widen them a little bit using this little cone piece. This is going to let me kind of pick and choose what I want to use for these, but I have to be careful with this because this can very easily go south. So the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of drill it out to match the dimple, and then I'll expand it from there. Now where the original detail here is so small, if you accidentally go outside of the middle just a little bit, you'll be able to kind of recreate that detail using the bevel that this is going to create for you. And that's what's so cool about this tool. Is it's kind of the best of both worlds. In this scenario, anyway. Fix this one a little bit more. Okay. So now we need to decide what size rivet we want to use. I don't want the biggest ones. I don't want the smallest ones. I think these ones up here are a little bit too big, so I think we're going to go with this. And that means that we need to widen these holes just a little bit more. I think that's pretty close. So I'm going to cut one off. I'm just going to see how it fits. I think we can go just a little bit more. It's sitting pretty close to flush, and I want it to sit in just a little bit. So we're going to give this another twist or two, and we're just going to keep fitting it until we get it how we want it. And there it is, just like that. Nice, it's indented. So to fit this in, I'm going to I'm going to use my scribe for this, and I'm just going to adjust the angle of the screw until I get it where I want it. Put a finger behind it should help. There we go. And then I'm just going to put my thumb over that and put a drop of super glue on the back. And then while this one dries, I'm going to move on to the other shoulder and do one of those, and then we'll just basically swap back and forth. So again, just like before. Alright, just like last time, I think we can go just a little bit further. 2, maybe 3 more twists, and we'll get that to a nice level. There we go. Content with that. Alright, so let's go grab the other side and press on. I think this one's almost there, but not quite. No, a little farther away than I thought. Alright, there we have it. All done. So not the greatest method in the world, just kind of winging it. Yo, what's going on, Kevin? How are you? Alright, so here's another thing we can jump into. The arms. Actually putting this hand on this model took more work than just plugging it in. So here's the other closed fist. I feel you, man. I almost didn't get on stream tonight, but I decided it would probably be in poor taste to do that. So these actually kind of sit on top of the polycap and stop you from putting the wrist all the way in. Like, it'll sit in part way, but it doesn't actually hold on. So I'll just trim these off. Okay. Can you? What are you getting?
Probably usual.
Just wondering. Are you gonna go in the gas? Are you taking her?
No.
Okay. Are you gonna go in the gas station?
No.
Oh. And there we go. All you gotta do is trim those pegs so that. You say silly. That thing was dope. If that's what you're talking about.
What's dope?
Kevin. I don't know if he wants me to put it out there, but he scratch built a really cool thing.
Oh.
Here, I'll show you. Get out of here.
You get out of here.
Not you. It's like the one downstairs.
Oh. Pretty cool.
Okay. So I don't need a ton of detail on the arms. One thing I've done is I've kind of chiseled this out. Can't come on, focus. I've chiseled out the little section on the front of the wrist to kind of hide the fact that it's a seam line. And I did the same up here, and it kind of helps. But it leaves the back a little open. So I think I'm going to replicate the groove on the back of here, just because I feel like it's a good idea. But then I can build extra detail into that and make it look like it's part of the kit. For the arms, there's another thing I want to do. Let's find my strip. We'll do that too. And this is fine. It's 1.25 millimeter. I'm just going to cut a pretty large chunk off of here. I might do 2 layers. We'll see what happens. But I'm going to extend the top of the forearm just a little bit. And I'm actually going to go ahead and take this. I don't know why this was molded as 2 pieces. But I'm going to go ahead and seam this up. But I'm going to be a little extra careful with it because the detail on the front I want to keep. So I'm just going to trace the sides. And then stick that on there. And then when that dries, I'll seam that up. But for the extension part, this is actually pretty long, so I should be fine without having to extend anything. Just layer strip. Probably should have cut this first. Layer strip over the top. I think I'm going to do like 2 or 3 layers of this. I've definitely underestimated how thick this was. But we're just going to extend it a little bit. You might have. I believe you did. Unless you've done something else since then. If you guys aren't following Mr. Shoki Reviews, you probably should be. He is a very wonderful person. He's also, I don't know if we're still doing submissions for that, but he's running a charity build-off contest. That you should probably look into if you can still enter it. So now we're just going to do this probably 3 or 4 more times. Yeah. Use mine. I don't know. On the table, I think. There you go. I need to look at the entries still. I'm guest judging as well, by the way, for those who are curious. Okay, so there's 2 layers. It's not really a lot. I think 1 more should do it. I just want to give it a little bit of extra height. I don't need a ton. Because I feel like the arms are a little stumpy. What did I do with that pack of plastic? I just lost it. There it is. I think. Yes. Do it, man. I would be happy to come on. Just say when. Or if you want to jump on one of my streams, say the word. Hello, Master. How are you? Oh, there it is. No, it's not. Is it? I'm doing well, thank you. I definitely will, Kevin. Thank you for hanging out. Oh, jeez. All right, so we might have to cut my stream a little bit short because it looks like my queue for unemployment is about to actually let me in. So there's not really a ton left that I really have planned. I kind of definitely blasted through what I've done tonight. So quick overview, and then we'll talk about Wednesday's stream. So here's the shoulder. We capped off both of the spikes on one side. I want to keep it a little bit asymmetrical. We went ahead and replaced those simple little dimple details with rivets. Oh. And then we did the same thing on this one as well, but we kept the spikes on this one. On the shoulders, we went ahead and scribed one of these guys. Just a little something in case you peek underneath there, I guess. We also fixed the wrists so that we can fix these newer 1/100 builder part hands.
Dad, somebody put it like papers in there again.
It might have been Mommy.
Oh.
She might not have known. This is in the process of receiving an extension. So just, let's see, doing the math real quick. It's got to be something like 0.75 millimeter extension. I might do one more. We'll see. And then the leg. So we went ahead and scribed the line across the other line across the back of the leg and up here on the top. Still kind of swimming on what I want to do with the front, but we'll figure that out. I'll get them. And then for the foot, this is something I did the other day. If I can get the focus. I cut in a detail on the top and on the bottom. The bottom one I'm not super crazy about, but we'll see if I can replicate it and do it again. I've also got some detail here on the thigh. This is going to be a pain to do. So yeah. So other plans for this. I think next time we stream this, we're going to hopefully have the legs done, which means that we'll have the waist left, and then we can go ahead and start putting the weapons together and figuring all that out. But outside of those details, my next stream is actually not going to be a build stream. I'm going to take a step in another direction. And the next stream, which is going to be Wednesday, same time, I promise I'll be on time, and I promise I will stay the whole time. We are going to photograph this and a couple other models. I've also got this guy, which I've not really taken any pictures of. So we can photograph this guy as well. But the idea is I'm going to teach you guys some photography stuff. So if you're interested in any level of photography, you can be an absolute beginner who wants to know everything, or maybe you have a little bit of knowledge of photography and you'd like to help me along, or maybe I can still expand your skill set just a little bit. But you don't have to be a professional to take good pictures. You don't have to own a fancy camera. It helps, but you don't need it. I'm gonna teach settings. I would like to teach. I'm not really gonna jump too deep into posing and stuff like that, because posing is kind of its own thing. Posing makes a big difference in your photography, but really, if you can nail like a nice standing shot, that should speak for itself. So I'll leave the posing to the pose masters. We will be doing some poses and stuff, so if you have any ideas or any kind of poses you'd like to see this or this in on Wednesday, let me know, and you can drop me a private message on Facebook or on Instagram, preferably Instagram, or Twitter, and I will happily do my best to make these poses happen. I need to go find my action base so we can get some aerial shots of that. But we're gonna discuss a lot of different things about photography, and I'm going to do my best to teach you all. Photos are easy, Sorvan. I got you, man. This is cake. I promise. It's a lot easier than it sounds. I finally got my my setup to work for it, so that's the reason that I'm going to do it. So I'll give you guys a quick preview. I probably shouldn't, but we're going to go ahead and I can actually set this up, and now you guys can see my camera setup and my settings and everything on one side. 140 seems really low, but what do I know? And I can just, and if I'm doing it right, which I'm not, so this needs to be fixed ahead of time. I'm glad we're doing this. So this needs to be changed to that. Boom. So then as I take pictures, you guys will see live what they look like and what changes, and I can demonstrate some of the nuances of what changes in a photo. So fortunately, or hopefully, if I got this set right, I should be able to take another picture, and it should change on screen for you. Fantastic. And then, like I said, as I move my settings around, I can change those all live, and you can see right now I just adjusted my my shutter speed. I can go in, I can change my ISO to 200. I don't know why you would do that, but maybe you want to. And then we can adjust all the other settings and see it in real time. And then I can even, this is going to be cool. I won't do this because there's no point to. But it's a cool feature of the software is I can actually focus. So I'm like holding just the lens. I can actually take pictures on the camera itself, or on the software itself. I just thought it was neat. So that's something to look forward to on Wednesday. I'm just super glad that it works and that you guys are excited about it. I'm going to try my best to cover everything. Backgrounds, lighting, camera settings, general framing, things like that. So with that, I'm going to end today's stream. I am sorry I had to cut it short. I just need to get this stuff done. I've been waiting on it all day, and I'm finally ready to be done with it. So hopefully you guys have a good night, and hopefully you guys learned a little something for the time that you were here. Follow me on my socials. Instagram and Twitter are probably the big ones if you want live updates. I don't tweet as much as I Instagram, but I try to do both more than anything else. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate all of you. I hope you're all staying safe. And I will see you guys on Wednesday. Later.